What's going on, y'all? It is Nick and Craig. We're back for another episode of Dead Man's Mic Pod. Now, tonight's episode is going to be a little different. It's not going to be about HHN 35. We did an early spec episode a few days ago, but realistically, and if you know anything about HHN, then you'll know that we have no information to talk about with 35 whatsoever right now. It's way too early. So, what we're going to do is go back in time. And the title of this episode and everything we're talking about, the topic is what has been the best HHN event post COVID. So, Craig, if I'm not wrong, are we talking HHN 30 through 34?
Yes, we are because 2021 was the official year that HHN returned to somewhat of a normalcy. So
Right.
30, so it starts with 30 and now 34 in 2025.
All right, let's talk about it. So, the HHN 30 lineup consists of what houses, Craig? What you got?
So 30 in 2021 was the 30th anniversary, an anniversary year. So the
Yep.
lineups came pretty hard. We're looking at Universal Monsters, The Bride of Frankenstein Lives. We're looking at the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the OG, the 70s,
Yeah.
Haunting of Hill House. We're looking at Beetlejuice. We're looking at HHN Icons Captured. We're looking at Wicked Growth Realm of the Pumpkin. We're looking
Mm.
at Welcome to Scary Horror in the Heartland. We're looking at Case Files Unearthed Legendary Truth, Puppet Theater Captive Audience, and finally Revenge of the Tooth Fairy rounded out.
All right. So I think when we talk about these different events, 30 was an anniversary year. It had a lot of momentum because 2020 we didn't get HHN.
Right, right.
And they really had, I mean, I think they had a great lineup that year. In fact, I think the one house that I remember being talked about the most, aside from Beetlejuice, like we know how popular Beetlejuice is anytime they do something with that property, was the Revenge of the Tooth Fairy. I feel like I heard about that house so much because I wasn't able to go that year, but I heard
Actually,
a lot about
that house was announced uh the year actually that house was announced in 2020.
it. Yeah. So they brought it back.
Right, cuz it was supposed to be in the 2020 year, but they brought it back. So,
So Craig, what would you think are some standout houses from 30 and maybe some sleeper houses that didn't get the flowers that they should have gotten?
um I would say that uh Case Files Unearthed Legendary Truth was a really solid house. Um that the way that it kind of like throughout the house, how it went back in time to like the different case files that that the detective character in the house was discovering. It's almost like
Yeah.
so basically how the house began was that the you're in a detective's office and he's going through these different cases that throughout the years that he discovered, and how the different people perished in those tragedies in those case files. And as it went through each case, it got more sinister and sinister until I think um the guy ended up being in his own case file and died in the end. So um the way that they executed that house was really they did that really well. And honestly, they it's almost like they tied the tragedies to the time period as well, each time period that it happened. So the way that they executed that house was top notch in my opinion. um Another house that doesn't get a lot of praise, that doesn't really get talked about like that, is Puppet Theater Captive Audience. Uh,
Yeah, that's a good house.
that house was really good as well. Last week I literally watched I really watched a whole lineup of HHN 30 on YouTube, and how Puppet Theater Captive Audience, how it started and how it ended was really great. The facade is phenomenal. Like
Yeah, dude, that
I
was a
don't
dope
know what
side.
I don't know what it was that year, but they had a point to prove. They like, hey, let's bring people back. This is the first year post pandemic. Let's do it. Honestly, all the facades for all of these houses were insane. And Puppet Theater Captive Audience was a really phenomenal. That was like one of the facades that really stood out to me, and the way that they executed their house was great because it's almost like the puppets were, going against the grain, and they were, uh, it's almost like the roles reversed. They're, capturing the puppeteers and they're making them their puppets and stuff, and how it all came together throughout the house, and
Yeah,
as deeper as you got in the house, uh, the puppeteers were turning to the puppets and stuff like that, and the uh, not only the facade but the uh, the house design was top notch as well. It came kind of gave like a circus type feel, but not too much, but because it has its own feel and stuff like that. So uh, those two houses in particular, I mean, I know all the other houses have a lot of fanfare to them, but those two don't really get as talked about when you're talking about 30. They don't get as talked about. They don't get as much discussion for how good they are. And I think it's because that goes to show you how solid of a lineup 30 was.
yeah. No, 30 was definitely stacked. One that I would like to hit on from 30 is actually Wicked Growth.
Yeah, I
I
know you was.
thought
I
that,
had a feeling you was gonna say that.
dude, Wicked Growth was like that. And I feel like it is one that kind of lives in the shadow now. Now hear me out, because I don't think that these two houses are relatable in any way. But I feel like an original that always comes back to conversation is Graveyard Games. And I loved Graveyard Games. Like, we've talked about Graveyard Games plenty of times.
Yeah.
But Wicked Growth does not get the flowers that I thought that it would still be getting, 5, 6 years later down the road. I don't know why that is, because it was very popular during 30, but I would urge anybody to go watch a walkthrough of that again. Wicked Growth, to me, was was that our first time getting the Pumpkin Lord or getting some lore behind that? Like,
Yeah, because the Pumpkin Lord, he appeared at the end.
exactly. So not only that, but it is technically a house that they could sequel or bring back in a different way.
Yeah, I mean, the Pumpkin Lord, he's an icon now just because of the house.
Just because of the house.
Yep.
Yeah, and he was out there at HHN. What was that? 2 years ago, 3 years ago now.
20, I think it was 20, no, I think it was 32.
32. Yeah,
Yep.
32. He
It
was
was
out there.
32.
Yeah. So I mean, justice for Wicked Growth. I thought Wicked Growth was very entertaining. I love the detail, and it was intense, but it felt like another stint of a Universal icon related house. So that would be my take from 30. All the other houses were very popular. They're still talked about to this day. That was the start of the Universal Monsters, kind of
Yep.
storyline that we
Coming
got.
into the
And
fold. Yep.
yeah, it was really a coming into that. And I thought it was good. I thought 30 was really good. It's definitely one on my list that I wish I would have been able to experience.
Yeah, 30 was really good. I experienced 30 for myself. I think I only had like one. No, I had 2 nights at HHN. I was only able to experience a few. That was my first year at HHN, so I was a
I was gonna say,
rookie.
was that your first year?
I was a HHN baby, so
Yeah,
I didn't.
yeah.
So I knew I kind of had a feeling what was going on, but I didn't know the strategy. So I literally only did like 5, 6 houses the entire time.
So
So
did you get to go through the whole lineup, or you only got 6 of them?
I literally only went. I only did like 6 houses the whole entire
Okay,
time.
but you were HHN rookie, so you didn't have the strategy yet.
Hey,
So it's cool. It's
yeah.
cool.
And I
I had
basically went
a
off. I went off wait time, so I was like,
yeah,
yeah.
and
um,
and and when you start strategizing, you learn you can go off wait times, but there's a little bit more to that. Like it,
yeah,
you just
yeah,
got to think about it because you also got to think about where are we going next. Like if anybody goes to that back lot and hits one sprung tent and doesn't hit the other one while they're down there, you tripping.
yeah. Because especially if it's those two sprung tents behind Nightmare Fuels, yeah,
That's exactly what I'm talking
you
about.
got
Yeah,
that
you can't.
you got that dreadful long walk. You might as well hit both the
Yeah,
houses anyway.
you might as well hit both while you down here. Like
It would
I
it
don't.
would make it would make I would honestly make no sense just to just hit one house and then just go back and then do the other house and then go right back and like it's too much foot traffic now unless you want the
Yeah,
steps unless you want to work out go
if you
right
want the
ahead
steps, go. Hey, do what you gotta do.
be my guest
But
literally
or if you just want to do gawking over and over again, I wouldn't be mad at you. Like I wouldn't.
see what I'm saying multiple
But
rounds of gawking no problemo.
I we did that, so that's just how that went. Now, what about 31? Let's talk about 31. What we
So
got?
if I'm not mistaken, this was the year that it was the first time that we all collectively, you, me, and Yurdi,
Yeah.
collectively went to HHN.
Yep.
Excuse me. Um, there was the weekend after hours nightmare. There was Halloween, the original Halloween '74.
Yeah.
Um,
Yep.
there was Universal Monsters Legends Collide. There was the Horrors of the Blumhouse. There was
Yep.
Bugs Eating Alive. Descendants of Destruction.
BuzzCon.
Hey, our favorite Dead Man's Pier Winter's Wake, of course. um, Fiesta de Chupacabras, real good.
We're gonna talk about that.
Yeah,
Yep.
and the scare zones were Horrors of Icons, Scarecrow, Cursed Soil, Garden of the Dead, Conjure the Dark, and Prophecy. So 31. That that year is one of to me this is an underrated year, a super underrated year.
And most people will not say that, but 31 was underrated. Thank you for saying that
Yeah.
because I think it was a year of slept on originals.
Yes, indeed.
It was,
All of the originals was fire,
yeah.
fire, fire, fire. Tens across the board, and I'm not even joking.
Now, I will say, if we really look at the lineup of what houses they had, Spirits of the Coven, I wish that I would have, like knowing what I know now, I wish that I would have gone through and gotten more runs of it so that I could understand it more. I think my thought process and my opinion of how the house was very tainted because I only went through once and I left confused. I couldn't pick up on the story.
Oh yeah, speaking of that, the last two houses of that year was Hell Block Horror and Spirits of the Coven.
Yeah, yeah, okay, yep. So that one would be my only one that it just didn't do it for me. But if I had more runs, then maybe I would have felt a little different. But then you say stuff like Hellblock Horror, Descendants of Destruction. Obviously, we got the weekend. We got Legends Collide. Like that lineup.
Fiesta de Chupacabra.
And Fiesta de Chupacabras was sick. That
Man,
house was sick.
the authenticity of that house alone was
Yep.
crazy.
I talked about it at GhoulieCon. Like it, that house really was the first time to see Orlando pushing the envelope with that Latin lore and really
Mm-hmm.
making you feel like you're in a
Yep.
village. Like you were in a sound stage on that house, and right, deservedly so. But they really put us in a Latin village, and it felt like that. I felt like we were outside going through the house.
Definitely. It's and the storyline started outside. So,
Yeah,
quote unquote outside. But
right.
you know, this honestly, when you look at the lineup in terms of like originals, this is like even starting in 21, though like post pandemic is when they really started, pushing the envelope in terms of like originals and see you know, uh how authentic and how much detail that the originals got and how much love that they got. Because I honestly think
Yeah,
that 2020, like them taking a year off, you know, honestly, this goes for any business or any company in during the pandemic, taking a year off to really like take that time, taking a whole year to just develop things and get different ideas and seeing what works and what doesn't. That kind of like pushed the originals into like the type of stratosphere that it's in today because you know we wouldn't be having this talk about originals being better than IPs.
I
So
was gonna say there was definitely a point in time where when we talked, when anybody would talk HHN, yeah, we'll talk about the originals, but what the IP's looking like first before we go talk about the
right,
originals
and
itself.
nowadays the originals have as much hype as the IPs.
I mean, you've seen these last few lineups. People, the originals get dropped in. We want to know more about that. Like,
Yep,
it's also the rumor aspect of it.
yep,
Like, you don't hear rumors like when they announced Grave of Flesh over the summer. Like, we didn't hear any rumors about that. Like, we didn't. We just expected a house to be announced. When it's
yep.
Fallout or The Last of Us or The
Uh huh.
Weekend or whoever, you hear rumors about that. Like, that's coming up. So I do want to say one that I felt was so slept on from 31 was Descendants of Destruction. Now I know I just talked
Descendants
about,
of Destruction.
yeah,
I
and
will
I
I will
know,
fight. I will fight for this house forever
yeah,
because
and I
I
know that we just
loved it.
talked about Chupacabras. That one was also slept on, but this furthers the point that the originals were slept on this year because Hellblock Horror and Descendants of Destruction had the exact same kind of intensity, but a completely different storyline.
Exactly, exactly.
I
Because
enjoyed them. I really did. I enjoyed both
like
of those.
this because Descendants of Destruction was basically, I mean, they both basically are in a somewhat dystopian like future or whatever. Descendants is basically like their dystopian future is um it
Weren't
takes
we in
place
New York or something
it
like
takes
that?
place it takes place in the New York subways and the
Yep.
sewer system, and it's like um it's a post-apocalyptic world, and people have turned to cannibals. People have to fight for themselves or whatever. And I think so that was the storyline of that house. And then there was what was the other one? Hellblock Horror was, you know, I mean, I think it takes place in the dystopian future, but I know for sure
It was
it
very
was
industrial from what I can
right. It was
remember.
like an industrial feel to it. You were
Yeah.
entering, basically a rundown insane asylum jail type deal, and
Yeah.
you know all the inmates are loose running amok up in there and causing chaos. and it's just and that intensity was crazy. Like chaos was everywhere. Every room that you entered, something was going on. It was intense. It was crazy.
Yeah, no,
Just
it
and the sentence of destruction was the same. The way you went into the sewer and the subway system, and how they drop you in that environment,
mhm.
and it's almost like in it closed. It's almost like you claustrophobic up in there.
Yeah, no, they definitely
That house
know
was
how to
tight. It
take
was it was like a tight fitted house. It was crazy. That's what
it
added to the
was.
environment. It's what
It
added to the
was.
environment of it. So I loved
And
it.
you
I
know
loved
what? I have to say, like, this one wasn't my favorite, but Bugs was just as intense.
it. And you know what?
There,
People hated Bugs Eating Alive for some odd reason. I
yeah.
love Bugs Eating Alive, even though I
I remember you saying you
I
loved
was
it. I was like, what the fuck?
like, see what I'm saying? Like you say, like if I tell somebody that I love Buzz Eating Alive, they'll look at me like I'm crazy or something. I'm like, no,
Yeah,
like you don't get the like. This goes back to my point, the effort and that they put into the originals, like
yeah.
and it
No,
makes
definitely.
and it makes sense. And even with the BuzzCon, like now BuzzCon has lore from and
Right.
it and
BuzzCon
it's
is back.
and it started with that year. So
Right.
now that they have lore, that's just what takes it up another level. And with Buzz Eating Alive, it makes sense. It was a simple story and it made sense. And it was a good house to me. It was.
And you know what? Like yeah, like it wasn't my favorite. And let me just say, it wasn't my favorite just because it wasn't able to top houses like Hell Block Horror or Descendants of Destruction on the original side of the piece. It just didn't top those or like Dead Man's Pier. But what I do like is what you said about the fact that it has lore. Like we had Bugs Eaten Alive. In Hollywood that year, it was or maybe it was the next year, but they had the Exterminators, was the Terror Tram.
Yep,
So
that was the following year.
it and BuzzCon is included. Like it's a part of all these things. So you come to this year and we get Toxic 20s. I wouldn't be
Yep.
surprised if within the next, like, I'm not gonna say next year, but the next like 5, 6 years, that could be a house. It was a very popular scare zone too. So they've really built a story off of that original concept. I'm definitely not mad at it.
Yep. Like it just like this is the capability of this is this is what's capable and this was possible when when there are ideas, and when you can take that into a house, right? And then hey, instead of just trying so hard to come up with something new, you can build on that lore and create something new, and it's
Right.
part of and it's lore now.
Yeah,
It-
exactly. It's lore, and that's what the event needs to continue to progress.
yeah.
And then we got to talk about like since we're on 31, we can't not talk about it. We got to talk about Legends Collide, After Hours Nightmare, and Dead Man's Pier. Let's
Don't
start
forget about
with
Halloween.
oh yeah, no, we can't forget about that. Let's start with that because from a nostalgic purpose, I
Mhm.
go back to that house specifically and watch it all the time.
I
Like
literally, I literally watched it last night.
if I was like if I was to have to explain to somebody what HHN is and how it differs from other theme park Halloween events, I'm pulling up that house. And the reason I'm pulling up that house is because for one, it's a movie that everybody knows. Two, they recreated that first movie so you feel like you are in the original Halloween. And three, it shows how HHN's really good at building atmospheres and like being able to do things that captivate you and put you in, a different dimension when you go through the houses. I love that house. Like if they bring it back, I'm not. They could bring that one back every year, and I wouldn't be mad just because of the nostalgic purpose. Like,
I
am
really
I?
wouldn't be mad.
Yeah, like if am I a diehard Michael Myers fan? Not necessarily, no. But when I think about what Halloween is and just the overall vibe of Halloween,
It literally
that
created
house
it.
did it.
It it literally like not even the house. The movie itself is so legendary, and it's so iconic because it literally kicked off. It kicked off the slasher craze. Like
Yep.
it kicked off the type of movie, the type of um trying to think of the word, like the type of uh movie making and
Yeah.
filmmaking, like that was literally the blueprint of low budget horror films. Like
Yeah, it
this,
was.
like the low budget horror films that are popular now. Like Halloween was a blueprint. They don't have to be like slashers or anything, but like independent horror film. Like not too many people know Halloween was an independent horror film.
It
So
sure was.
this was the blueprint of that type of filmmaking. And so and then like them HHN like turning that into a house or whatever have you, and the iconic moments of that film, they drop you in that environment, the facade of
Yep.
Michael Myers' home when he killed his sister Judith.
Dude, when you're
And
going through the rooms of that house, that's so cool. You feel like you're in
you're
it.
in it.
Yeah.
Literally, you're in it, bro. Like it's
It's just so dope
wild
when they have him
because
as the clown at the be, like when he was little and
you see
everything.
what I'm
Like, come
saying?
on,
Like
man.
it's
The sound
insane.
effects
Like
every
literally
time
the
Michael pops out.
sound. See what I'm saying? The sound, like the movements, the environments, everything,
Yep.
every story beat, every movie beat that you see in the movie, it's right there in front of you.
Yep.
And to walk through all that is so crazy. It still blows my mind to this day because it's like what? Like only I can only experience this at HHN. Nowhere else in the world
Nowhere
because
else are you gonna get that. Nowhere else.
like nowhere else.
And that's no offense to any other theme parks. It's just like Universal just has the blueprint. There is a
They
reason
set the bar.
HHN is
They
what it
set the
is, bro.
bar, man. They set the bar.
A- Basically, HHN didn't become this for no reason. Like they're
Yeah,
doing something
real
special.
literally. Yeah, they are. They have. They. I just tip my cap every single
Yeah,
day because I'm like,
tip my cap.
wow.
And
But
and I feel like the ones that we're talking about right now are all ones that we got to tip our hat to because
yeah,
Dead Man's Pier. I mean, come on, y'all see the name of our podcast.
chef, chef,
That house.
chef's, chef's kiss
I don't
every
care
single
what
time.
houses they do. I will always have to give you my top four of all time because one of them is going to be Dead Man's Pier every single time.
Every single time,
I
without a doubt.
don't think it's coming off my list.
Oh,
It's
never.
just
It's
not,
never. No.
dude. When you walk in there, specifically the video recorded by Attractions 360, when you go in there and they show it's not even a facade. You're going
Yeah,
into a town,
it's a
and like they have the
town.
lighthouse
Yep,
and everything.
in the distance, you can still see the lighthouse, the ghost violinist fountain in the front, and then like the store,
Bruh,
like the fishing store. Man,
I can feel that atmosphere right now. I can hear the violin in the background in my head
literally,
right now.
it's cold and it's snowing in there, bro. Come on, come
When Craig,
come on.
when it started fucking raining, I
I
almost cried, bro. I almost
my
cried.
man, when I tell you, like I was so immersed in that house, I barely got scared. Like I didn't even know. Like I know it's a scare, and the scares were great, and they were subtle, and
Yeah,
they
yeah.
were like while at the same time a little bit intense, but it didn't take away from like the scenic views because it's just that like that house is just so damn. beautiful, man.
It
It
was
man,
incredible. It was. This is one of those
man.
houses that, like, you see, we are talking about it years later because it was that good.
It was
There's nothing I can go through and critique about that house. Like,
nothing.
it was too immersive. You really forget you're at Universal Studios, and in 2 minutes, you're gonna be back out in the regular park.
Yep.
But for
That
those 2 minutes, though,
it is
that
perfection personified, bro.
dude, that show or that house is just badass. Still to
They
this
were
day,
they were they were cooking that year, bro. I'm telling you.
they they cooked. They cooked that one, and that's why when we went through Triplets of Terror and we walked through there, and as soon as we walked into that house and it was raining, I was like, they brought it back.
Mm-hmm. And
And
the
then
same thing.
Legends Collide
The
was,
speaking of rain, they did the same thing with with the Universal Monsters Unmasked because it
yeah,
rained in the beginning in there too.
yep, yep. I thought that Legends Collide was awesome just because
Whew,
the
that triple
the
scare at the
detail was
end, bro.
awesome, and the fact that it's a different winner. They made it so you have to come back and do this again.
Yep. That facade in the beginning was amazing.
Yeah, yeah.
It had
I
the full moon in the distance with the mummy dig.
hmm
Man,
yeah. I
it
don't.
was so good. So
I
good.
have no qualms about it. You see what shirt I got on, and that's my
Unmasked.
unmatched shirt. That's
Yeah.
my unmatched shirt.
Fire.
We gonna get to that.
We gonna get to it. Trust.
Man, dude, I'm such a fan of that house. I thought it was
And then,
really immersive.
we
As you
gotta
can see,
talk.
we're still on
Yep.
31 right now.
Yep.
This is how hard they cooked.
And we still gotta talk about, of course, the weekend after hours nightmare. Being the biggest weekend fan there is. Um, when this house got announced, my jaw hit the floor. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all, because this comes um this comes after this house was literally when he dropped um after hours, not too long before the announcement. So, I think the album came out in 2020 or 2021, if I'm not mistaken. So when they announced it and how, they were describing it visually and how it's gonna be, I was already excited. I was like, this is my house of the year right now. Like, I'm not even,
Yeah.
I'm cool. But but when I actually went through that house, there are not any words. There are no words that can describe how great that house was.
Yeah.
Like, this was around the time where Universal, like, because they collab with artists before, but this is when a collaboration with an artist was solely about an artist. Like, the music didn't take a back seat, the artist didn't take a back seat. It was the artist and their music took center
Yeah.
stage in the house.
He was scaring you.
He was scaring you, like
Like he
like
was in there.
and every single portion of the house um was from his After Hours album, and they all were representations of his music videos, of the different music videos,
Yep.
from the album. 10 out of 10.
Especially Heartless. They did a
Yep,
lot of interpretation from that video. Um After Hours Nightmare is special.
it
It
is
was very
special.
special. It was one of those houses that when it got announced, I didn't know, but I also wasn't a huge Weekend fan at the time. And then Craig, you told me go back, listen to After Hours, but go listen to his other stuff too, and you'll see. I got 3 albums: After Hours, of course,
Mhm.
Don FM,
Yep,
and Kissland.
yep,
All three of those albums are dark, And if you go listen to the lyricists, like the lyrics, the dark artistry in them, there's a reason he had a haunted house. And
Yep.
not only was it fun, but it
Yep.
definitely had you questionable about what you were seeing in the scenes. Because there were a few scenes in there where I was like, that was wild. Like, what was going on here? What was going on there?
Very
But
wild. It's like his like the imagery is wild.
the imagery is wild. And if you go listen to After Hours in full, and I really mean in full, you gotta jam it from beginning to end, then After Hours Nightmare will make total sense to you. It will. It literally told the album. And let's just talk about the Q line was a concert the whole
Yeah.
time.
Yep. They had
I
they
don't
had they had
it could have been
concert
a
lights.
130-minute wait. I'll stand out there because we
Yeah.
jamming. We rocked out the
Concert
whole time.
concert lights everywhere. The music from After Hours blasting. Everybody jamming, having a good time. You was chilling. You ain't
Yeah,
mind waiting.
yeah, you didn't care because it was the vibe was there. Yeah, man. So 31 definitely up there. It is definitely in this conversation for a
Yeah,
reason, for
for
sure.
sure. Love that.
Now let's move on to 32. Now, this one's interesting because I did not go to 32 in Orlando. I only went to Hollywood.
Hmm.
So I might have, I mean, I'm going off what I've watched on YouTube, of course, in these houses. But Greg, you were there.
Yes,
So
I was. Yes, I was.
what's that lineup we have on 32?
So the lineup we have for 32 is Stranger Things, 4, Exorcist Believer, Monster Universal Monsters Unmasked, Chucky Ultimate Kill Count, um, Dr. Oddfellow Twisted Origins. Oddfellow was the icon that year.
Yeah.
Um, Dueling Dragons, Choose Thy Fate. Yeti Kept Ground Kills, which I loved. Darkest Deal. I loved that house. Um, and Blood Moon, Dark Offerings, which I loved as well.
Woo!
Those
That's
last three
see, that's
originals, those
another one.
last three originals alone, man, I'm
That
telling you right
last
now.
three, that's a tandem right there. Good lord. Okay. Going off what I've watched on YouTube and honestly what I heard from like you and Yurdy and everybody else that were cool with Blood Moon. I'm so sad to this day that I wasn't able to go experience that.
Blood Moon was so good,
Knowing that
bro.
it was by the same people that put together Dead Man's Pier, I'm like, I already know that's a banger.
It was so good, bro. It was
But
so good.
also scary though. Like they said that one was scary. Like that, you know. So that was one I wish I would have seen. Darkest Deal, I love Southern culture, Delta blues, like all that. I definitely wish I could have
Woo, Darkest
experienced
Deal,
that.
man. And we both music guys, so
Yeah, yeah,
that that was already like, I was going into Darkest Deal, not really not knowing what to expect, but going through that house and the storyline's simple. A guy sells his soul for fame, and it's so good. It's so
yeah.
good. I love Darkest Deal. That's like one of my top originals of all time, all time.
I, I think it's in the conversation for top original of all time for a lot of people too.
Oh
Like
yeah.
it is one that it was the one that when they announced it, everybody was like, I don't know. Just kind of like how Hatchet and Chains was this year. People were like, I don't know. And it ended up being like on the atop everybody's list or very, very high ranked.
Yep. That like the the originals for this year, dare I say most was running laps around the IPs.
I can't even think about what other IPs were down there.
Um
Exorcist Believer, Stranger
Exorcist
Things.
Believer, Stranger Things, Last of Us, based off the game, and Universal Monsters Unmasked, Chucky's Kill Count.
And Chucky was like the big IP that year.
And Stranger Things.
And Stranger Things, yeah. Um, so like I was saying, I went to Hollywood that year, and I will say I'll just run through it really quickly. Believer was fucking intense
Yeah.
in like in Hollywood too. Like it was Believer was like that. Stranger Things was really cool. I really enjoyed it. I really like just that them putting you in the atmosphere. Stranger Things was really cool. Unmasked was really cool too. I loved Unmasked. I do wish it was in a sound stage out in Hollywood. It was in a tent, but
Mm-hmm.
that they still made it work. It was really cool. I definitely feel like Orlando had a better Unmasked, but it was still really good. Chucky, I will say it was better than Orlando's, but still not that impressive. But that's kind of where I was with that. Now I will say
Yeah.
the slept on original from Hollywood that year was Holidays in Hell.
Oh, I am so jealous of. I will be jealous forever to this day for not experiencing holidays in hell.
Hey,
I
Holidays in Hell was like that. I've never seen Easter look so scary in my life.
see what I'm
That's
saying.
all. That's all.
Every
And
every holiday, man, they made it work. And these are the that's kind of like the type of original I wish they would. I hope they bring to Orlando because
and that was the start of Monsters of Latin America. That was
hmm
Monstros one
yep,
that year.
Monsters one.
So, and you already know how I feel about that. I ain't even got. That's my stuff. I love that story.
Yep, yep, it was
So
really good. Um, I will say about what I will say about Stranger Things and The Last of Us. Those really brought the fans. That those were the especially Stranger Things. When I tell
those
you
ticket
for
sellers.
when I tell you Stay and Scream, I saw that line look insane. That
Yeah,
that Stay and Scream line was crazy. Like
yeah,
and this was back when Stay and Scream had holding areas. This was back when they had holding areas out in the heat. We were dying. So yeah, I'm glad they switched it up like how they took inspiration for how Hollywood does Stay and Scream. I love how they did that because who wants to stand out in the heat and die? But
right. Just go around the park, come back.
right, literally. But um this was that year and the Stranger Things one, I think it was Stranger Things and Exorcist Believer uh that had their lines kind of somewhat together. And yeah, it was like that. Stranger Things, of course, had the longest wait. It reached like a 2 hour wait at
It was pulling
max.
FNAF numbers.
It was pulling for NAF numbers. It was
Yeah,
honestly, it had a more weight. It had a longer wait than FNAF, I think, at its
yeah.
peak.
Stranger Things is very popular.
And I went
Exorcist didn't pull those numbers because people were scared to go up in there. Which honestly,
right, which honestly that's real
they got
because
that house was
some
ridiculous.
people were even they traumatized by exorcisms. So, but
Yeah,
but um the numbers that Stranger Things pulled in, and it at its peak, and I went in October. I went in the peak month of HHN.
yeah. So you
This
went when
was
it was gonna
this
be.
was when it was jam packed, and this was and honestly, 2022 to 2023, like 31 and 32, those were the years where everything was basically back to normal, like the pandemic never happened. So this was honestly like the real like the good year of a normalcy, like where everybody came outside because some people because not to say that 2022 wasn't well attended, but it wasn't like everybody packed in here like sardines. Now this year the Stranger Things crowd came outside.
Yeah, no,
They
they
were ready.
side. They were definitely there.
But you know, and I will talk about. I want to talk about the. I want to talk about Oddfellow, Dueling Dragons, and Yeti. Um, Oddfellow was great. I love Oddfellow's Twisted Origins because
That house
it
looked
gave you
really cool.
it gave you a background. It gave that circus feel to it. It gave that honor. It gave that ominous feeling, and it had a Jack the Clown teaser up in there. So
Right?
um, still good. Dueling Dragons, Choose Thy Fate. This was a house that had mixed reactions. Um, I will say, as a Dueling Dragons fan, I appreciated what they were doing, with the house. I love to see how they paid tribute to it, and how they paid tribute to like the Q space, um, because the
Where
Q
you
was
did
very
have to choose back then
right.
when it was
It
still
was it
Dueling
was very
Dragon.
it was very detailed, and I loved it, and how you literally entered through um, um, a tree oak of Merlin, and how you had to, go through that house. So I love how you, and then you had to, of course, had to choose on it at the end. Um, Yeti Campground Kills, man. That, like, I wasn't able to. I haven't experienced a Jason house yet. Well, except for just experience Jason Universe. But before that, Yeti Campground Kills literally gave that vibe, like a camp being terrorized by something.
Yeah,
And it was these
absolutely.
and the Yetis were massive, bro.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
and they dropped you in that environment really well. So these originals brought it. 32, they brought it.
All right, 32. There it is. All right. HHN 33. We getting more recent with it. 33.
All right. 33. We got Insidious Into the Further. Ha! We got Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. We got Universal Monsters Eternal Bloodlines. We got Major Sweets. We got the Museum Deadly Exhibits. Slaughter Cinema 2. We got Monstros, the Monsters of Latin America, the first year
Y'all
it
know what
came to
time it
Orlando.
is.
Man. And we got Goblin's Feast. Ugh. And then I hate Goblin's Feast. And then we have Triplets of Terror, which was very, very good.
Beast mode.
Um, Nick, honestly, I'll let you take it. Um, I'll let you
All
take
right.
these houses. So, what you like from this year, man?
So 33 was actually it was a really good year, and I feel like they
Hmm.
really wanted to go back to like really trying to get a big scare out of people, I feel. Um I don't even know where to start because a lot of these houses are really good. I think I'm gonna go through the ones I really liked, and then I'm gonna talk about the ones that I didn't care for as much.
Okay.
One that I felt was very slept on and still to this day does not get the best reviews was actually the museum, Daily Exhibits.
Museum was good. It was solid. It
I
was solid.
enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. Like it was, I thought it was really good. A lot of people didn't necessarily care for it. Well, I thought it was good. I thought it was a cool storyline, and it really felt like Night at the Museum. You know, if you go back and watch that kind of stuff, that's kind of what that felt like. I thoroughly enjoyed A Quiet Place. In fact,
Ah, that's the other one. Quiet
yeah,
Place was
A
good.
Quiet Place was actually no BS my favorite IP of the year. from 33.
The puppeteering in there was insane, bro.
It was, and I know I say it all the time, but it was the group that I went through with the first time. And when we all went through there, we all stayed quiet on purpose. Because if you're quiet going through there, then you play into the lore of what A Quiet
You
Place
play
was.
into the movie. That's what the movies is about. That's crazy. I've never
If
heard of a house that people actually were quiet and they were like playing into the movie. That's what the
and
movie
you
is.
and you remember that was the whole conversation leading up to the event. Everybody was like, "So, what are people gonna do when they get in the house? Are people gonna be quiet? Are people gonna be loud?"
Like
Like,
ain't like and then like when people got scared, they were still quiet. They nobody was screaming. Like that
yeah,
house was silent, bro.
and I cracked the code on why that house has such different reviews, and it's because not everybody is getting the exact same walkthrough. It's very different down to the noise that you hear coming around a certain corner.
Yep.
So some people are like, "Oh, everybody was in there screaming, and the monsters were really loud, like they were coming after us a lot." Okay, so that kind of ruined it because it wasn't quiet. Whereas we went through and it was very silent. And every now and then somebody would make a noise, and one of them would, like, pop out. Which, just the suspense with that was awesome. I really enjoyed that. You said Night at the Museum. What were some other houses on this list?
Um, Ghostbusters, Frozen Empire, Universal Monsters, Eternal Bloodlines, Major Suites,
Mm,
Florida Cinema 2, Monstros, Goblin's Feast, Triplets of Terror. Oh,
okay.
and Insidious.
And Insidious. So Insidious was
These
really cool.
these single
Yeah,
scariest house that
that
I have
yeah,
ever experienced at HHN ever.
yeah.
Top 10.
Insidious was definitely it was like that for sure. But I will say Ghostbusters was just so fun to go
And
through.
it was so detailed.
And the detail was insane. Like, if you haven't
Crazy.
seen that, go watch that one on YouTube. The detail was awesome. In Frozen Empire, Triplets of Terror for me was actually my favorite house from 33.
Mm-hmm.
It
Yeah.
still sits as my favorite house from 33. I know a lot of people hear that and they're like, really? Like, out of all of,
Yeah.
yeah, nah, Triplets was like that. I really
Yes.
enjoyed it. Let's see. Goblin's Feast, and I
No.
couldn't,
No,
it
no,
didn't do it
no.
for me.
I think they
It
made a
just didn't
mistake.
do
I
it.
think they made a mistake.
And it is the one that I was the most hyped for, which is what blows my mind, is that that's the one I was like, I was ready for.
I'm like, ain't no way they can mess this up. Boy, was I shocked. And you know what's
Yeah.
crazy? When we put it at the bottom of our list in the HHN Facebook group, they attacked us from
Oh
left
yeah,
and right.
we they
They
went
was
in
like,
on us, y'all.
"Oh,
They
how can you not like Goblin's Feast? Goblin's Feast was at the top of my was near the top of my list. How?
Yeah, everybody
How?"
was like, "Oh, it was so spectacular." I was like, "There's no
I'm like,
way."
"Oh, spectacularly terrible? Oh, for sure."
But what I did like was Bloodlines. Eternal Bloodlines was lit to me. I really did enjoy it.
Yeah, and that one gets kind of in the crapper too from some people. So
Yep,
I
it
mean,
does.
it was the weakest of the Universal Monsters house. Don't get me wrong, of the Universal Monsters houses, but it was like storyline wise, it was pretty solid. I think
Yeah,
as a house, it was pretty solid. I think so.
yeah. No, yeah, it was pretty solid. Obviously not the best of the Universal Monster houses, but I thought it was solid. I did enjoy Bloodlines. Like, it was fun and I love the detail and just that old European horror feel that it has is very gothic. I really enjoyed that. And so I'm having a hard time with 33 remembering what the other IPs were. I know we said Insidious, A Quiet Place, Frozen Empire. What was the other one?
Um,
Or was there one? Or are they counting
I
Bloodlines as
think.
the other RP?
I mean, that's the. Yeah, that was the other IP.
Okay.
It was Insidious, Ghostbusters, A Quiet Place. Hold on, what's that? Let me see.
Oh,
Hey,
this isn't an IP, but I didn't enjoy Major Sweets either. I'm sorry.
Um,
It just didn't
yeah,
do it
it
for me.
was. I think that was. Yeah, that was it. It was Insidious, Major Sweets, Monstros, Goblin's Feast, Triplets, A Quiet Place, Ghostbusters, Slaughter Cinema 2, Museum, Universal Monsters. Yeah, it wasn't a lot. It wasn't
Okay.
like yeah, it wasn't a lot.
I thoroughly enjoyed Slaughter Cinema 2. I think I got a couple run throughs of that. That was so much fun. And it was so cool to see them bring Hatchet and Chains to life. But since y'all
Mm-hmm.
did that, it is now time for Mardi Gras Murders. So please hear me out. And y'all can announce that when Universal Mardi Gras starts. If y'all want to do like
Announce it
a
now.
little thing, y'all can announce it right now. That's cool too. But
Going
because
through the different movies was great.
yeah, and
Like
now seeing that
they
they
can
can do
literally
that,
make any segment of Florida Cinema 2 a house.
yep, yep. And now seeing that they can do that, I'm like, all right, I need Mardi Gras Murderers. So Mike, if you and the team, if y'all hear this, it's time.
It's time for Mardi Gras Murders now.
Yeah. But all in all, man, I did enjoy 33. 33 was a great way for me to return to Orlando since I wasn't able to go for 32. Um, Definitely had a ton of fun with it. Triplets of Terror was my goated house of that year for sure. Major Suites, I tried to give y'all a chance. It just, I don't know if it was the storyline or what, but it's kind of what I was also worried about this year with Dolls was that I didn't want it to be like too cute or too just.
Just too
I think
playful.
cute is the word
Like
because fun is cool. Fun can still be scary,
right.
but it just didn't pull me in like that. So
Mm-mm. I mean, Major Sweets wasn't as bad to me. Like it was cool. Like
yeah,
it was cool. You know, I wouldn't say it was bad. I wouldn't say it's Goblin's Feast level bad, but um uh Major Sweets was it was cool. It was cool for what it was.
yeah, yeah. Like it, there were definitely some parts in there, especially the detail on the detail side that I was like, all right,
Yeah,
that's pretty cool. I still can find things because like even Goblin's Feast didn't really pull me in like that, but I did love the detail.
right.
The detail was awesome in there. I thought that that was really cool too. So now we move on to 34, which we've talked about. Like y'all know how we feel about
In
34.
detail.
Yeah, we've talked about 34, so we're not gonna go through 34 like that. But I will just say for me, when it comes to Orlando, just to throw it back out there, my top houses, Hatchet and Chains, Dolls, Let's Play Dead, and it's
I,
always hard for me to kind of.
I think you said you either said YS6 or El Artista.
I gotta be honest, man. I think it'd probably be YS6.
Mm.
Like I love El Artista and I love the detail and everything like that. But YS6 was like it was scary, but I had fun. Like that was just a whole lot of
YS6,
fun.
man,
It was just a lot of
there
fun.
has never been a time where I have had expectations for a house and they have exceeded them and then some.
Yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah.
like it's a perfect house. It really is. It's a perfect love letter to the man known as Bray Wyatt, and it's honestly it's a love letter to him, a love letter to wrestling, a love letter to the different characters of the Wyatt Six and how we explore their minds and what goes on. It's perfect. But
Yep.
but besides the Wyatt Six, I would say, of course, El Artista, because come on, it's El Artista.
Big
Like
Surge.
big surge, big
Big
surge up in
Surge.
here. So again, we're not gonna go into detail, but you already know about Big Surge for real, for real. Um,
Right.
and my other favorite house, I would also say Hatchet and Chains, because that house grew on me. And the
Yeah.
intensity every time we went through that house, the intensity just kept getting more and
If you
more
didn't go
and
through there
more.
more than once, you missed out because they had a crew.
And you can literally tell there was a difference between the first time we went to HHN this year and 2 weeks later,
Yeah.
because the
Yeah.
intensity ramped up
Yeah.
every single time, and it's so crazy. Like I would even say golfing Monsters of the North. That was intense. That was very good, very detailed.
Yeah.
Um,
I
Dolls,
love golfing.
Dolls, Let's Play Dead. I had fun in that house. I had fun up in there.
Dogs, yeah, it was
Um,
fun, but it was creepy.
yes, fun and creepy. And then they had the different
Yeah.
interactional buttons in there, so it was interactive.
Hmm.
And Jason Universe, a gauntlet, a
Yep.
gauntlet.
Yep.
Um,
Yep. Yep.
but um, like Terrifier, the one that everybody was excited for, they executed that house perfectly. I don't think there's a better way to interpret the Terrifier movies and Art the Clown and the different things that happen and the Easter eggs more perfectly than they could have. And so that's what made it perfect. That's what made Terrifier really good. And you know um even you know even in terms of Grave of Flesh and Fallout, which were not the greatest, but they were cool for what they were. Even like there was
Grave was
this
fun though. I enjoyed.
Grave, yeah, Grave grew on me and you. So
Yeah.
we didn't mind Grave.
I feel like we
But
might be the
like
only people that grew on, but
but you know uh this year there was not a bad house at all. There was no bad house. Um
yeah.
this this year was one of them ones. It really was. In terms of, like we discussed in the last episode, in terms of ticket sales, in terms of revenue, in terms of the numbers that they were pulling in, this year took it. And this is why
Yeah.
next year it's like, what can they do to make it an all timer? Because I have a feeling in my gut and in my soul that next year is going to be unbelievable. We just doing a waiting game though.
Yeah.
So
Yep. That's what we doing. So Craig, what would you say at the end of all of this conversation, in your opinion, out of those years that we talked about, which one was the best from HHN 30 to HHN 34? Which one is like your sole survivor? Like, which one is the best?
without a doubt it was this year, 34. Without a doubt.
All right.
I would
Okay.
say I would say 30. Let me see. I would say I would say 31 um would be a close second. A very close second.
Okay. I will have to say 31. I
Okay.
think when I go back and think about like if I had to go back to a specific HHN year and relive it, right, and go through everything again, 31 just kind of comes to mind. Just 31 was special. Really
31
cool
was really
concepts.
special, bro.
Yeah, really cool concepts. It brought the culture of Halloween Horror Nights back.
Yeah.
31.
Honestly, now that you say, I say 31 and 34 are tied for me.
Yeah. I feel like 31, 34 is definitely up there though, because they cooked this year too.
They
They
did.
definitely cooked this year. But 32, had I gone to Orlando, I would have been able to experience that as well and really like get a feel for that.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, for me, it's 31. 31 is the best year so far
Yeah.
post COVID. Now, we got an anniversary year coming up, so hold that thought. That might change.
Hold it real bad.
Who knows what's about to happen?
Cool it.
But
TBs to be determined.
yeah. But nah, man, we appreciate y'all for listening. We have so much coming up. More episodes will be coming out. Season 2 of the show is definitely in full swing. And just so
Yes,
you
it
guys
is.
know, anything labeled under season 2 will be strict speculation in terms of HHN 35. Anything related to 35 will be a part of that season. This is more just, fun stuff in between when there's no announcements or we just want to kick back and talk HHN. We should be on Apple Podcasts very soon. And make sure you follow us on our platforms. Make sure you go get your tickets for GhoulieCon. That way you don't miss the panel because by the time we get to GhoulieCon, you never know. We might have something announced. We might not. We're waiting on some confirmations for some specific guests. That's all we can say right now. But
That's it. That's all.
definitely, right. But definitely go get your tickets. We want y'all to be there. It's a brand new horror con that we're really trying to build. So we would love for y'all to be there. Craig, you got anything?
Excuse me. What I will say is that, to piggyback off of what you just said about GhoulieCon, get those tickets. You do not want to miss this. You do not want to miss next year. Trust me. Trust me when I tell you, we
Don't
going
want to
up.
miss it.
You do not want to miss it. It's only gonna get bigger. So get those tickets.
Yep.
Get those tickets.
Definitely make sure like, comment, subscribe, share it to any of your friends that listen to a cool HHN podcast and want another one a part of their list. And you can come definitely join us and be a part of the Dead Man's Mic family. We post on Instagram. We keep that stuff rocking all the time. It's HHN all year long at our platform. So whatever, whenever you want HHN anything, it's there for you on our platforms. So we appreciate y'all for listening, and we will catch you all on the next one.
Peace.
Peace out.
It's